Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in everyone's life when the universe whispers it's time to evolve, not survive, not adjust, but evolve. And evolution doesn't happen in silence. It happens when you decide, I deserve better, I am better, and I was born for more. Today, I'm giving you 12 things that will transform your life from ordinary to iconic, 12 things to focus on if you truly want to evolve into your strongest, fiercest, and most unstoppable version. Take them seriously, because the moment you apply them, your life won't look the same again. Confidence is not a decoration you wear on special days. It is the foundation you stand on every single morning when you rise. Before you focus on goals, before you chase love, before you try to impress anyone, the first thing you must strengthen is the voice inside your own chest. That voice decides how you walk into a room, how you speak your truth, how you recover from storms, how you look at yourself when no one else is watching. Confidence is not something you buy, it's something you build. One decision, one moment, one uncomfortable step at a time. Think about the moments when life tests you, like when you walk into a new job and everyone already seems experienced, smart, fast, confident. You sit there wondering, do I belong here? And the world will not stop to give you an answer. You must answer it yourself. Confidence begins the moment you say, yes, I belong. I don't know everything yet, but I'm willing to learn, willing to rise, willing to shine. Growth rewards the brave, not the perfect. The world doesn't follow the loudest voice. The world follows the most certain one. Confidence is built in the small, unnoticed battles. When you wake up in the morning and feel like staying in bed, but you push yourself up anyway, that is confidence speaking. When your heart races before speaking in a meeting, but you open your mouth anyway, that is confidence shaping itself. When someone underestimates you and instead of shrinking, you silently promise yourself, watch me, that is confidence burning inside you. Every act of courage, big or small, stacks inside your soul like bricks, building a stronger version of you. Maybe you felt it, that moment when someone tries to dim your light. Maybe they laughed at your dreams, doubted your abilities, or called your ambitions too big. Those moments hurt, but they are also opportunities. Confidence is not proven when people support you. Confidence is proven when people question you and you continue anyway. Like a student who fails an exam but studies twice as hard the next day, like a single parent balancing work and home, still finding strength to dream, like a girl who has been told all her life to stay quiet, and one day she stands up, speaks, and shocks everyone. Confidence grows in silence, in sweat, in resilience, not in applause. Confidence is the courage to show up exactly as you are. Think of the time you walked into a gathering and felt judged because of how you looked, what you wore, or who you were, and yet deep inside you knew your worth isn't hanging on anyone's approval. True confidence is when you say, I'm enough as I am, but I'm also committed to becoming better. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. When who you believe you are finally matches the energy you carry into the world. Look at everyday life. The cashier who handles rude customers with patience, still holding her smile. The young boy who stutters, but bravely presents his school project in front of the whole class. The woman who has been heartbroken but chooses to trust love again. The man who grew up being told he would never succeed, yet he keeps applying, keeps hustling, keeps fighting for a better life. These are not just stories. These are reflections of what confidence looks like when it's lived, not spoken. Confidence also means respecting your own boundaries. It means saying no when something doesn't serve your peace. It means walking away from situations that break you or belittle you. Think about the times you agreed to things just to avoid conflict or impress someone. You walked away drained, uncomfortable, and invisible. Confidence teaches you to choose yourself even when others don't. It teaches you that you don't have to shrink to fit into someone else's small idea of you. Confidence is knowing you can start again. When you lose a job, when a relationship ends, when a friend betrays you. Confidence whispers, this is not your ending. Every setback is simply a redirection. Think of athletes who fail on the field but return stronger the next season. Think of business owners who lose everything but rebuild from scratch. Think of artists who are rejected 100 times but keep creating. Every comeback story you admire began with one belief: I still have more in me. Confidence is the freedom to take up space, not just physical space, but emotional and mental space. It's allowing your ideas to be heard, your dreams to be valued, your emotions to be acknowledged. Picture yourself in a room full of achievers. You feel nervous, intimidated even. But then you remind why. Ourself. Everyone in this room started somewhere. No one was born great. They became great through the same fear, the same uncertainty, the same first step you're about to take. You realize you're not less, you're simply at the beginning of your own greatness. Confidence grows every time you trust yourself. Trust yourself to make decisions, trust yourself to recover, trust yourself to build the life you deserve. Because when you trust yourself, you stop begging the world to trust you. When you believe in your voice, you stop seeking validation from voices that don't matter. Confidence is the inner knowing that even if everything around you collapses, you won't. Because your worth isn't tied to your results. It's tied to your resilience. And the most beautiful part? Confidence is contagious. When you walk with certainty, you inspire others to stand taller. Your courage becomes someone else's permission. Your strength becomes someone else's hope. Someone is watching you right now, a sister, a friend, a child, a stranger. And your confidence might be the spark that lights their own fire. This is why you focus on confidence before anything else. Because once you own who you are, no one in the world can take that away from you. Your purpose is the compass of your life, the quiet voice inside you that always knows the direction, even when the world tries to confuse you. When you focus on your purpose instead of people, you stop chasing applause and start chasing alignment. People will pull you in 1,000 directions. Some will distract you, some will doubt you, some will derail you, but your purpose will always pull you back to where you truly belong. There's a kind of peace that comes when you decide, I am no longer living for their approval, I am living for my mission. Think about how often we shape our choices around what other people think. You want to start a small business, but someone says, it won't work. You want to study something different, but your relatives say, there's no future in it. You want to move to a new city, but friends say, why would you leave? And suddenly the dream you once felt burning in your heart begins to feel impossible. But the truth is, those voices are not the problem. Your attention to them is. When you shift your focus back to purpose, not people, you reclaim your power. You begin to understand that people's opinions are reflections of their limitations, not yours. Every person with a dream faces this battle. Look at daily life. The young man who wants to become a writer, but his friends make fun of him. Yet he wakes up every morning before sunrise and writes anyway. That is purpose. Or the woman who wants to run a fitness page, but feels embarrassed to post videos because she thinks others will judge her body. One day she decides, judgment won't pay my bills. Judgment won't build my future. She posts anyway. That is purpose. Or the teenager who loves painting, but everyone says, art won't feed you. She keeps painting, keeps creating, keeps evolving, and one day her art becomes the thing that saves her life. That is purpose. Purpose demands courage. When you live for people, you play safe. When you live for purpose, you take risks that the world cannot understand. People may leave you when you choose your path, but purpose will reward you. People may laugh at your ambition, but purpose will bless your consistency. People may not see your vision, but purpose will reveal it in time. The world has never celebrated anyone in the beginning. It always waits to clap until after you succeed. Purpose claps for you every single day you show up, even when no one else does. Think of the days when you felt lost, not because you lacked talent, but because you gave your energy to people who never understood your dream. Think of the moments when you delayed opportunities because you were too busy worrying about what others might say. Think of how many times you shrank yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed for your spirit. That is what happens when you make people your priority instead of purpose. You end up living a version of life that satisfies everyone but you. Purpose isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. It whispers to the boy working late at night on a startup while everyone else sleeps. It whispers to the woman practicing speeches alone in her room because she dreams of inspiring millions. It whispers to the student who studies in the corner of a noisy house because he knows education is his ticket out. Purpose shows up in unexpected moments, a random idea, a deep desire, a sudden feeling that something greater is calling you. And when it calls, your only job is to answer. When you focus on purpose, distractions lose their power. You stop reacting to gossip. You stop caring about who supports you and who doesn't. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand. You stop wasting time trying to fit into groups that drain your energy. Purpose becomes your filter. If it doesn't align with your mission, it doesn't get your attention. Imagine you're on a long road trip. People along the way will tell you to take this turn, take that shortcut, stop here, slow down there. But if they don't know your destination, why would you follow their directions? That is how life works. People love to give opinions without knowing your journey. They don't know your past, your pain, your dreams, your battles, your responsibilities, your vision. So why should their opinions control your path? Purpose teaches you to protect your energy. The artist avoids negative company because it kills creativity. The athlete avoids unhealthy habits because it destroys discipline. The entrepreneur avoids comfort zones because they suffocate progress. Everyone who is serious about their purpose learns one truth: not every person deserves access to you. Some people are blessings, some are lessons, and some are distractions sent to test your company. Commitment to your path. In everyday life, you see examples everywhere. A boy training for exams chooses to stay home while friends party. They call him boring, but purpose calls him focused. A woman building her career chooses to wake up early, skipping gossip and laziness. People say she's too ambitious, but purpose says she's becoming unstoppable. A man saving money for his future says no to unnecessary spending. People say he's stingy, but purpose says he's building freedom. These people are not better than anyone else. They're simply aligned. Purpose turns pain into power. When your heart breaks, purpose reminds you to rise. When you lose something, purpose reminds you to rebuild. When people betray you, purpose reminds you that your destiny is bigger than your disappointment. When life gets heavy, purpose acts like a backbone, holding you upright even when you feel like collapsing. And here's the truth most people don't want to accept. You cannot live a purpose-driven life and a people-pleasing life at the same time. You must choose. People want you to fit their expectations. Purpose wants you to rise into your potential. People want you to stay where they feel comfortable. Purpose wants you to evolve into who you are meant to be. People want you predictable. Purpose wants you powerful. When you choose purpose, something magical happens. You grow. You transform. You rise above drama. You gain clarity. You become stronger, wiser, more disciplined. Your priorities shift. Your circle changes. Your habits upgrade. And suddenly you realize you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to build something meaningful with your life. Growth happens in the mess, not in perfection. Because life doesn't transform you when everything is neat, organized, predictable, and beautiful. Life transforms you in the moments when you are confused, overwhelmed, uncertain, and broken. The mess is where you discover who you truly are. Perfection is a mask, the mess is the mirror. Perfection wants you to look flawless. The mess wants you to become fearless. And if you study anyone who became strong, successful, wise, or resilient, their story didn't begin with perfection. It began with chaos, mistakes, failures, and moments where everything felt like it was falling apart. When your life becomes messy, don't misunderstand it. You're not being punished, you're being prepped. Think about a student who prepares for exams. The room is filled with open books, messy notes, half-written assignments, coffee cups scattered everywhere. If someone walked in, they might think the student is struggling. But what's actually happening? Growth, discipline, learning, transformation. That mess is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that someone is fighting for a better future. Or imagine the young woman starting a business from home. She has boxes everywhere, invoices unorganized, late nights with tired eyes, endless calls and countless mistakes. People around her say, your life looks chaotic, but she knows something they don't, that chaos is the birthplace of her dream. That mess is the price of evolution. Every mistake teaches her something. Every setback sharpens her strategy. Every failure strengthens her resilience. She is not drowning, she is evolving. Look at the gym. Growth happens in sweat, pain, struggle, not in comfort. A person lifting weights for the first time shakes, fails, drops the barbell, tries again, fails again. Muscles burn, breathing gets heavy, body and it all looks messy. But that's exactly how muscles grow, through resistance, not ease. Erection demands smoothness. Growth demands effort. The mess in the gym is the transformation of the body. And the same is true for the mind, the heart, and the soul. Think about relationships. People believe perfect relationships exist. But the truth is, strong relationships are built in the messy conversations, the misunderstandings that need healing, the arguments that demand maturity, the tears that ask for understanding, and the imperfections that require patience. Love doesn't grow when everything is smooth. It grows when two people choose to stay, choose to communicate, choose to grow, especially when things get messy. Perfection creates distance, but embracing the mess creates bonding. Think about parenting. Children don't grow in perfect environments. They grow while spilling milk on the table, crying at random hours, making noise, breaking things, asking endless questions. Parents grow too, through exhaustion, confusion, trial and error, laughter in chaos, mistakes followed by learning. Parenting is messy, but that mess is full of love, memories, and lessons that shape the future generation. If parents waited for perfection, they would never raise confident, compassionate children. Growth is not supposed to look elegant. Growth looks like trying something new and failing publicly. Growth looks like getting rejected from a job and applying again. Growth looks like waking up with anxiety but choosing to keep moving. Growth looks like practicing your passion when no one claps for you. Growth looks like crying at night but waking up stronger the next morning. Growth looks like losing people but finding yourself. Growth looks like taking the wrong path, learning from it, and choosing better the next time. Perfection is the biggest lie society sells. It tells you that you must look perfect, speak perfectly, achieve quickly, never fail, never cry, never be confused. But that pressure kills dreams before they even begin. Perfection keeps you frozen. The fear of messing up stops you from starting at all. You don't need a perfect plan, you need a brave step. You don't need everything figured out. You need the courage to try. Remember the first time you learned to cook? The kitchen was messy, maybe the food burned, maybe you got frustrated, but eventually you learned. Or the first time you drove, you were nervous, made mistakes, felt overwhelmed, but today, you drive without thinking. That's what messy beginnings do. They prepare you for confident futures. Success has fingerprints of failure all over it. The writer who publishes a best-selling book first wrote dozens of bad drafts. The singer who performs flawlessly on stage first sang off-key in their bedroom for years. The athlete who wins medals first lost countless matches. The entrepreneur who builds an empire first went through debt, confusion, and doubt. Their success might look perfect today, but their journey was messy, emotional, unpredictable, and raw. Growth asks you to stop pretending, to stop hiding, to stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only a brave one. A brave moment when you stand up despite fear, when you start despite uncertainty, when you continue despite obstacles. The mess you're experiencing right now may feel uncomfortable, but it is shaping you into someone powerful. Think of the times you felt lost. Those moments taught you direction. Think of the times you felt broken. Those moments taught you strength. Think of the times you felt stuck. Those moments taught you patience. Think of the times you felt alone. Those moments taught you independence. Every messy season gave you a gift perfection never could. Growth happens when you fall and choose to rise. Growth happens when you try, fail, and try again. Growth happens when life gets complicated and you learn to navigate the storm. Growth happens when your heart breaks and you rebuild it tougher. Growth happens when you don't know the way forward but you keep walking anyway. The mess is not a sign that everything is going wrong. The mess is evidence that you are in motion. You are learning. You are becoming. You are growing into someone stronger, wiser, sharper, and more capable than you were yesterday. Your circle is the mirror of your future because the people you surround yourself with shape the way you think, the way you speak, the way you dream, and the way you move through this world. You absorb their energy without even realizing it. Their habits become your habits. Their dreams influence your dreams. Their mindset pours into your mindset. You might think you are strong enough to stay the same, but energy is contagious, whether it lifts you or destroys you. That is why upgrading your circle is not arrogance, it is alignment. It's choosing a life hat matches your destiny instead of your comfort zone. Look at your daily life. Think about the times you felt motivated, alive, and driven after talking to someone. Then think about how drained, insecure, or distracted you felt after talking to someone else. That contrast tells you everything. Some people expand your life. Others shrink it. Some push you forward. Others hold you back. Some celebrate your growth. Others feel threatened by it. Your circle is not just a group of people. It's the environment your soul breathes in. Imagine a student who truly wants to improve. They can sit in a room full of lazy friends who don't study, who waste time, who complain about life but never change anything. Slowly, without noticing, the student's discipline begins to fade. They study less, their motivation weakens, their dreams start to feel heavy. Why? Not because they lost passion, but because their circle robbed them of it. Now imagine the same students sitting with people who study hard, plan their days, dream big, and push each other. In that circle, the student rises. In that circle, excellence becomes normal. That is the power of environment. Or think about fitness, a person trying to lose weight but hanging out with people who eat junk food daily will struggle. Every day becomes a battle between discipline and temptation. But if that same person joins a group that eats clean, exercises regularly, and talks about health goals, suddenly fitness becomes easier, even exciting. The goal didn't change, the circle did. The same applies to money. If you surround yourself with people who always complain about how life is unfair, how opportunities never come, how everything is impossible, you will unconsciously adopt that mindset. But if you sit with people who brainstorm ideas, talk about investments, share knowledge, and speak the language of growth, you begin to expand. You start thinking differently, dreaming differently, acting differently. Wealth doesn't grow in a poor mindset, and a poor mindset is created by the circle you keep. Your circle influences your emotional growth too. Imagine a woman who wants to heal and improve her mental health, but her friends gossip, create drama, mock her dreams, and pull her back into old patterns. Healing becomes harder because her circle is toxic, but place her in a group of emotionally aware people, those who communicate with honesty, respect boundaries, uplift each other's spirits, and encourage personal growth, and she transforms. She evolves emotionally because the energy around her supports her evolution. You see this in careers as well. A person surrounded by colleagues who only discuss problems will eventually see only problems. But when they join a team that discusses solutions, creativity, innovation, and opportunities, their mind shifts. They start seeing possibility instead of limitation. Surround yourself with small minds and you will dream small. Surround yourself with big minds and you will rise beyond what you thought possible. Even dreams demand the right circle. Think of someone who wants to start a YouTube channel. If they share this with people who laugh, who say, "Who do you think you are?" or "You'll never grow," they will shrink their dream before it even starts. But if they share it with people who say, "Go for it, I believe in you, let's build something," that dream begins to breathe. A supportive circle gives your vision wings, Dabbar. Our circle determines your standards. Sit with disciplined people and you'll stop tolerating laziness. Sit with confident people and you'll stop settling for insecurity. Sit with kind people and you'll stop accepting disrespect. Sit with ambitious people and you'll start dreaming bigger. Sit with people who grow and you will grow naturally. Sit with people who stay stuck and you will sink without noticing. Take relationships, for example. A person surrounded by friends who normalize toxic behavior will tolerate pain longer than they should. But a person whose circle values self-respect, boundaries, and emotional intelligence will never let them settle for a disrespectful relationship. Your circle sets the benchmark for what you allow in your life. There is a saying, if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. This doesn't mean you should feel inferior. It means you should always be in rooms that stretch you, rooms where people challenge, inspire you, and push you towards your potential. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you're surrounded by people who make you uncomfortable in the most empowering way. Look around your life right now. Who inspires you? Who drains you? Who pushes you? Who distracts you? Who believes in you? Who belittles you? Answering these questions S is not judgment, it is self-awareness. If someone constantly brings negativity, drama, jealousy, or limitation into your life, they are not part of your future, they are part of your past. And if someone brings clarity, motivation, joy, honesty, and growth into your life, they are part of your evolution. Upgrading your circle doesn't mean cutting people off harshly. It means elevating your standards. It means choosing peace over chaos, ambition over comfort, wisdom over gossip, progress over stagnation. It means surrounding yourself with people who match your energy, your goals, your values, and your future. Your circle is a silent architect of your destiny. If you choose people who are growing, you will grow. If you choose people who are healing, you will heal. If you choose people who are building, you will build. If you choose people who dream, you will dream. And if you choose people who believe in rising, you will rise with them. Mental strength is the highest form of power because everything in your life, every decision, every action, every dream, every comeback begins in your mind long before it becomes reality. Muscles can lift weight, but the mind can lift your entire life. Beauty can attract attention, but the mind can attract opportunity. Money can open doors, but the mind decides which door you walk through. Mental strength is not about being emotionless, it's about being unshakable in a world that constantly tries to shake you. It's the quiet confidence that whispers, I will rise, even when everything around you is falling apart. Think about the people you admire, the ones who overcame obstacles, who achieved greatness, who rebuilt their lives after storms no one else could survive. Their power didn't come from being perfect. Their power came from being mentally strong. A mentally strong person is not the one who never breaks, it's the one who breaks but refuses to stay broken. It's the one who knows that setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of it. Look at daily life. Imagine a student preparing for exams while dealing with pressure, stress, and expectations. On some days, the brain feels tired, the heart feels heavy, and motivation feels missing. But that student wakes up again, studies again, tries again. That is mental strength. Not the grades, not the praise, just the quiet determination to keep going when giving up looks easier. Or imagine a woman going through heartbreak. Her world feels shattered, her confidence shaken, her dreams blurry. People might think she is weak because she cried. But crying never makes you weak, staying broken does. One morning she decides, I will not let this pain define me. She starts working on herself, focusing on her growth, rebuilding her confidence piece by piece. That is mental strength. Rising after emotional destruction is one of the greatest displays of power. Think of a man who loses his job unexpectedly. Panic hits, fear hits, shame hits, people around him whisper, doubt, judge. But instead of sinking, he takes a deep breath and begins again. Sends applications, learns new skills, works harder. Even when rejection emails come, he keeps trying. That is mental strength. Not the paycheck, but the persistence. Mental strength is built in moments of discomfort. It's built when you show up on days you don't feel like it. It's built when people underestimate you and you choose not to shrink. It's built when you walk away from toxic situations instead of staying trapped. It's built when you control your reactions instead of letting anger destroy your progress. It's built when you say no to things that drain you and yes to things that grow you. Daily examples show this everywhere. The athlete who wakes up before sunrise, trains in pain, sweats through exhaustion and still doesn't stop, that is mental strength. The mother who sacrifices her comfort every single day to give her children a better life, that is mental strength. The entrepreneur who takes risks, faces failures, loses money, but keeps believing in the vision, that is mental strength. The person dealing with anxiety who still chooses to fight their thoughts instead of giving up, that is mental strength. These are not superheroes. These are everyday warriors who fight battles nobody sees. Mental strength also means controlling your mind, not letting your mind control you. It means choosing discipline over impulses. Look at someone trying to break a bad habit, like overspending, overeating, or procrastinating. It's easy to follow the same pattern because it's comfortable. But the moment they decide, enough, I want better for myself, and they take control of their choices, that's power, that's mental dominance. Mental strength is also the ability to stay calm when life gets chaotic. Think of someone who receives hurtful comments or faces criticism. Instead of exploding, they stay composed. Instead of reacting, they respond. Instead of breaking down, they rise above. That self-control is a superpower. Anyone can get angry, anyone can react, but it takes true power to stay centered. Another daily example, controlling your emotions during long journeys, whether it's waiting for the right opportunity, healing from past wounds, or rebuilding your dreams. Patience is a form of mental strength. Imagine a person trying to grow a business. They don't see results for months, sometimes years. People around them lose faith, but they stay consistent because they understand one truth. Slow progress is still progress. That patience, that endurance, that refusal to quit, that is mental power. Mental strength also looks like not needing validation. It is when you know who you are without needing the world to approve it. It's when people underestimate you and you smile because you know your value. It's when you don't chase attention because confidence is your oxygen. Look at someone who chooses self-resp over pleasing people. That is mental strength. Someone who walks away from disrespect even when it hurts, that is mental strength. And then there are the silent battles. Waking up with anxiety but choosing to face the day. Feeling lonely but choosing not to settle for toxic company. Feeling tired but choosing to push through your responsibilities. Feeling scared but choosing to take the next step anyway. These silent victories don't get applause, but they build the strongest version of you. Mental strength is the anchor of your life. When your heart breaks, it keeps you standing. When your plans fail, it keeps you moving. When your confidence shakes, it keeps you grounded. When the world tests you, it keeps you stable. The strongest people are not the ones with perfect lives. They are the ones who master their mind in imperfect circumstances. Mental strength is not loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't show off. It's the quiet voice that says, I will survive this. I will rise again. I am stronger than this moment. Again and again until it becomes true. Your standards are the silent announcements you make to the world, long before you open your mouth, long before you take a step, long before you decide who gets access to you. People don't treat you based on who you are, they treat you based on what you allow. And the moment you raise your standards, everything in your life rises with them. Your peace rises, your confidence rises, your value rises, even the quality of people around you rises, because life always matches your energy, not your excuses. Think about the last time someone crossed a line with you. Maybe it was a friend who only called when they needed something. Maybe it was a partner who expected loyalty but offered none. Maybe it was a CO worker who kept dumping their workload on you because you never say no, and you tolerated it. Not because you were weak, but because your standards allowed it. You taught them how to treat you by what you accepted. And the hardest truth is this: people don't walk over strong people, they walk over people who forget their worth. Your standards set the tone of every room you walk into. Imagine a woman walking into a meeting. Shoulders back, void. CE firm, eyes clear. She doesn't raise her voice, she raises her presence. She doesn't demand respect, she commands it. Why? Because her standards for how she carries herself make people rise to meet her. She doesn't chase validation. She doesn't shrink to make others comfortable. She knows if my energy intimidates you, it was never meant for you. That is the power of standards. Quiet, unshakable, undeniable. Daily life gives you 1,000 moments where your standards are tested. When someone talks down to you, do you let it slide because it's not a big deal? When someone cancels on you last minute for the 5th time, do you smile and pretend you're fine? When someone keeps you as a backup option, do you keep proving your value, hoping they'll finally see what you bring? Every tiny moment is a message. Either you send the message that you respect yourself, or you send the message that you'll accept whatever is given. And people pick up these messages with scary accuracy. Your standards aren't just about relationships. They shape your entire life. In your work, your standards decide whether you settle for bare minimum effort or push for excellence even when nobody's watching. Picture a student who studies not because the teacher is checking, but because she refuses to give herself anything less than her best. Picture an entrepreneur who doesn't cut corners because her name means something to her. Picture a young woman who refuses to gossip, refuses to compete with other women, refuses to lower her energy just to fit in. These are standards in action. They build a reputation before you even walk through the door. Relationships are where standards matter the most. If you accept emotional crumbs, people will never offer the full meal. If you let someone come in and out of your life based on their convenience, they will always treat you as a temporary option. If you allow someone to talk to you in anger, disrespect, or carelessness, they will never learn to speak to you with intention. Your heart is not a playground. Your time is not a discount store. Your love is not a clearance sale. Whoever wants access to you should rise to meet your standards, not pull you down to meet theirs. Look around your life. The energy you receive is the echo of the standards you've set. If people take you for granted, your standards are too low. If people always expect you to overgive, your standards are unbalanced. If people treat you like an option, your standards are invisible. But the moment you tighten those boundaries, the world adjusts. The wrong people leave, the right people show up, and the version of you who once settled becomes unrecognizable. There is a beautiful strength in saying, no, this is not enough for me anymore. Raising your standards is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is choosing to match the life you want with the behavior you accept. It is understanding that your energy, your time, your love, your presence, these are privileges, not entitlements, and people who truly value you will never ask you to lower your standards, they will rise to them. Because a woman with high standards is not hard to love. She's just impossible to play with. Here is your 600-word, magnificent, cinematic, goosebump-creating conclusion, crafted exactly in the powerful, bold, global icon tone you want. No headings, no summary tone, just pure impact, pure fire, pure elevation. You have to understand something today. Your evolution is not an accident. It's a decision, a declaration, a line you draw between who you were yesterday and who choose to become tomorrow. And the world will not clap for you in the beginning. They will question you, doubt you, whisper about you, misunderstand you, even try to pull you back into the old version of yourself. But evolution was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to be transformational. There comes a moment in every powerful woman's life when she stands in front of her own reflection and realizes, I am not here to survive, I am here to rise. And from that moment forward, everything changes. The noise fades, the excuses die, the fear weakens, because once you taste your own strength, you stop seeking permission to use it. Hear me clearly, there is nothing more dangerous than a woman who finally chooses herself. A woman who says, I deserve better and means it. A woman who says, I will not shrink and doesn't. A woman who says, watch me, and then delivers. Your evolution begins the second you stop apologizing for your power and start honoring your purpose. You are not here to fit into the small boxes people draw around you. You are here to break them. You are here to outgrow every limitation placed on you. You are here to become the loudest, brightest, strongest version of yourself, even if it scares the people who are comfortable with your silence. Remember, they are not intimidated by who you are. They are intimidated by who you will become once you stop holding back. Never forget this truth. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to outgrow people who refuse to grow. You are allowed to walk away from circles that drain your fire. You are allowed to leave behind environments that shrink your ambition. Your loyalty belongs to your growth, not to your past. And the people who truly love you will celebrate your evolution, not compete with it. So tonight, today, right now, make yourself a promise. Promise that you will stop settling for half loves, half dreams, half efforts. Promise that you will honor your standards, protect your peace, and guard your purpose like treasure. Promise that you will stop trying to be liked and start trying to be legendary. Promise yourself that you will stop dimming your light just because someone else is afraid of shining. Listen closely. The world does not remember the people who played safe. It remembers the people who dared. The people who stood tall when everything around them tried to pull them down. The people who refused to break, refused to bend, refused to quit. And you have that fire in you. You have that storm, that spark, that unshakable force that refuses to die. Your evolution is waiting. Your future is calling. And this time you are not stepping in quietly. You are stepping in loudly, boldly, unapologetically, because you finally know your worth, you finally know your power, you finally know that the life you want is already yours. If you are brave enough to claim it, so rise. Rise like the woman who has walked through storms and still stands unbroken. Rise like the woman who turned pain into fuel, silence into strength, and setbacks into comebacks. Rise like the woman who knows that every version of her was necessary, but this version is unstoppable. And when the world asks, who do you think you are? You look them straight in the eye and say, I am becoming everything I was meant to be.